What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Crew 2, and in this video I wanted to take another look at the drag class because there's a set I really wanted to try on here to see if it's actually useful. The score breaker set on the drag vehicles. Can you actually use this, and is there a reason to really go after it? So one of the funniest things I noticed about this is the fact that you really do not need the score breaker set on the drag vehicles at all. If you guys might have been wondering, doing escapes and speed traps, the score breaker set is not going to help you in any way. Now I do think this is kind of unfortunate because there really isn't any reason to use the score breaker set on the drag cars. Now I did actually test this out in a couple of different ways, so I did end up getting a score breaker set with skilled, and I actually wanted to try out some of these slaloms to really see if it could work. And well, funnily enough, you actually could probably complete some of them with the drag vehicles, but do keep in mind, guys, I was noticing it was honestly a big struggle. On a lot of these slaloms I was doing with the drag car, I noticed the car obviously is not made for that, so trying to turn back and forth is just not going to work. Now, I did try the LA River one. My goodness, that was a nightmare. The water kept screwing the car up, and I just could not get to the end of it. I normally would miss it by like one pin or something like that, and I just couldn't get there, or I couldn't actually hit the finish line, which was kind of unfortunate. But some of the other slaloms I was testing the car out on, I noticed I could actually complete them, and funnily enough, I was actually scoring very close by to like what the Rallycross or like one of the other vehicles with a regular set would get. So if you really wanted to, you could probably experiment a bit and actually use a drag car on some of these slaloms. But I do think running a drag car on many of these slaloms is probably possible. I just think it's going to be a lot more difficult than it should be. Now, one of the things I was noticing when testing out the drag vehicles on these slaloms is the fact that, well, you're going to want to be in manual on this. I noticed third gear is going to be your best friend. I sometimes would shift into fourth, but honestly it really wasn't needed. Then sometimes into second to actually get around turns a little bit easier, because when you downshift with the drag car, I noticed it does turn it for some weird reason, which was helping a lot with these slaloms. But besides that, I was able to get to the end of them on a good amount of the ones I was testing out, which is kind of funny because these cars are literally not made for that, and I wanted to really see if these score breaker set's going to be worth going after. So to be honest, guys, if you really wanted to get this, you're going to have to basically get it just for another set to have on your vehicle, because if you were getting it to run like slaloms, I just do not think it's going to be worth it, mainly because the drag car is most likely going to struggle in every way. Now, I do think using these Corvette Stingray is probably going to be the best option for this if you guys wanted to mess around a bit, because the Stingray, for some odd reason, can actually turn a little bit. Most of the other drag cars honestly struggle super hard. Now, a lot of people might be wondering, should I even bother grinding for the score breaker set with the drag cars? Now, from the testing I have done, if you guys wanted to get an extra set on your vehicle, it would not be a bad idea just to have it. You could put like Pure and Frenetic on there or something like that, even though there's really no point of doing that when you can get a Nitro Chemist set. Now, I did end up testing out the score breaker on an escape, and I kind of laughed because I managed to get pretty far with it. The biggest thing about a Nitro Chemist set is the fact that it does double your nitrous on the drag cars, which is honestly incredible. But not having that, I noticed the drag cars are doing just fine on the escapes, if you guys might have been wondering. Now, I'm sure many players are probably wondering, well, the main reason for a score breaker is to get double score on the actual skills, and while doing the speed trap, you're going to notice that it does not help you, which that would really make no sense, getting like 650 miles an hour. When doing like 320 or whatever. That would really make no sense whatsoever, so I do understand why they did that. And then doing an escape, I can also understand why the score breaker doesn't matter, because that would make that probably really overpowered. And if you do not have that, it's probably going to give a lot of issues to many other players trying to do good on those. So I do understand where they're coming from with that, and if you really wanted to, you could probably run these vehicles, as I mentioned before, on a slalom. But my goodness, is that going to be a nightmare depending on the one you want to try it on. Now, what I find really funny about the drag cars being able to do slaloms and actually get a good score is because I really originally thought the Rally Raid vehicles are the only ones you can use because of that set, and it definitely seems like that is being proven wrong every single time I test these other vehicles out, because they're scoring almost exactly the same, and my set on the drag vehicles is not even that good, which I find to be really funny. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below, because I personally have been finding a lot of fun messing around with other vehicle classes in the game with these weird part sets, just to see what they can really do. And it seems like the score breaker on the drag race class might be kind of useless, but also very usable in many aspects as well. Now, obviously, if you guys did want to run like slaloms, you're probably going to want to have the score breaker set on there. Now, if you do have a score breaker set on your vehicle and trying to do like events or races or other escapes and stuff like that, a Nitro Chemist is probably going to be your best option, because technically having the score breaker set on your vehicle is like running a loot digger and or a live reward sniffer set. It's really not going to benefit what you're actually doing in any way unless you have those specific affix-it stats on the vehicle. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below, and thank you all so much for watching.